up until my sophomore year, I wasn't really all that engaged in my classes. But through taking courses with Dr. Thuet, especially courses that focused on Aristotle, on John Locke, on Hobbes, Rousseau, Plato, I kind of got bitten by a bug, a philosophy bug, and I decided that maybe I wanted to do what he did, which was teach great books that focused on examining the fundamental questions of human life. I'd like to think about what is justice, what is the common good, what is the effect that a regime has on an individual soul. Those questions were really interesting to me, and I was encouraged by him and Abbott Placid and Dr. Van Leer and Simon Donahue, all of whom are still here, to go on to graduate school and study those things. I think politics really can, the study of politics in a philosophic way can get us to reflect on those things, right? To see if perhaps these presuppositions we have as being members of a liberal democracy are good for our souls, if they're damaging for our souls. Maybe the best example would be my favorite author, the author I like to read the most, is Alexis de Tocqueville, who wrote a book in the 1830s called Democracy in America. And the entire second half of that book, which I love to teach more than anything else, is really about the effect of democracy on our souls, and the good and the bad. And by having students think about that, right, they can avoid some of the pitfalls, some of the problems that Tocqueville points to. Professors at Belmont Abbey are not pushed to specialize in a really narrow field. There's a spirit of discussion here. People in this faculty are really interested in those fundamental human questions, and that spills over to our students. We're able to bring them into that. And I think that's rare. I don't know if you would get that at most colleges. Maybe the best way to help a student is to spend that one-on-one time with them to really understand what they're struggling with and hear them articulate that to you. That really helps you to engage with them, maybe outside of class. Dr. Thuet, as my intellectual mentor, really is responsible, for good or for ill. All the good is him. For me wanting to be a professor and wanting to be back at the Abbey. I just really wanted to carry on in some way what he was doing, which was great intellectual and moral formation of students. And of course, Abbott Placid, really as my intellectual and spiritual advisor. I thought, I really would love to come back to a place and continue that. The Abbey was really great for me, obviously intellectually, but spiritually as well. And I think if I hadn't had been at a place like Belmont Abbey that took me where I was, but also helped to develop me further in my Catholic faith, that wouldn't have been good. And so I'm really grateful to the Abbey for all it's given me, especially in that area. Our liberal arts core here is centered on forming human beings to be what they're supposed to be, which is rational pursuers of the truth. Human beings exist in time. So we study history, right? Human beings have souls. And so we have students engage in theological inquiry in a number of theology courses. We're political. What does it mean to be political? What is the relationship between God and the regime, between fellow citizens? We're literary, right? We express ourselves through poetry. Human beings express themselves through poetry, through stories. Our students are really well equipped to continue that quest for understanding truth in a deeper way after they leave the Abbey because of the beginnings they get in our core.